Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley.
I'm Ben.
Is Call of Duty heading back to the modern era? I mean, that's where they sold the best. Why wouldn't they? After fighting the Nazis yet again, it looks like the franchise is due for another shift in setting.
Yes, Call of Duty World War II isn't even out yet, but it looks like the next game could be taking us back to the present day. That rumor comes by way of a job posting by developer Treyarch, which is the next studio on deck for the series in 2018.
So, why another setting change aside from they really like setting changes and most of the developers do it year to year? Well, Call of Duty is known for shifting around various eras from modern era to the past to space. Yeah, space, and it didn't go so great. In fact, some say that the lackluster response to Infinite Warfare is what prompted Call of Duty to go back to the past with the World War II game that's due out in November, although I take issue with that. This is pure personal speculation on my part that game had to be way in development before they knew that Infinite Warfare was not going to do all that great. So I think it was already planned. That's just me. Your mileage may vary.
Nazis to space, then back to Nazis, then back to space. Of course, the machine that is Call of Duty never really stops, and it looks like plans are already in works for what's next. And that's where we have this latest news nugget about the franchise returning to a more modern setting.
News nuggets.
News nuggets.
Thanks, video game job postings. You're always there for us. Okay, so the next developer up to make Call of Duty for next year is Treyarch, which is best known for making the Black Ops series, and in a recent job posting for a combat system designer, Treyarch is apparently looking for a designer with a deep knowledge base of firearms and modern military technology. Oh, and they have to be at least Prestige 1 in Black Ops 3 multiplayer.
Modern military technology.
Yeah, what does that sound like?
This makes sense given that Treyarch was behind Black Ops, which was a really well-received direction for the franchise. And judging by the job post, Treyarch wants its applicants to be really familiar with Black Ops.
Very familiar.
Very familiar. Plus, a modern setting allows them to get much more creative when it comes to enemies and types of guns. While World War II might be popular, it's also limiting in a lot of ways.
Sure, technology-wise, there's only so many things that you can do without inventing crazy new stuff. On the other hand, Activision has hinted that the upcoming World War II game might not just be a one-off, so even if they don't return to it next year, they might the year after that. It is an annual franchise, they have so many opportunities. Activision Publishing CEO Eric Hirschberg has said that the World War II era is a very rich territory.
In an interview with Game Informer, he said, "Well, you know I can't reveal things on the slate that are several years off, but no, I don't necessarily see it as a one-off. I think that World War II and historical settings more broadly are very rich territory, and I think there's every possibility that could become an area that we explore more than once."
All right, so maybe we're not done with World War II just yet, and I think a lot of the people who are looking forward to a World War II setting will be very pleased by that. I mean, longtime Call of Duty fans know that the series started in World War II way back in 2003. Other Call of Duty games covered the same war, the last of which was Call of Duty World at War in 2008. Since 2012, though, the series has been set in the future, starting with Black Ops 2, most recently with the franchise going to space in Infinite Warfare.
To space. And going back to modern times might be another attempt by Activision to stick with a setting that works. It's been reported that Activision wasn't happy with the performance of Infinite Warfare, which was released last November. And while reviews weren't bad for the game, it didn't seem like anybody actually really loved it all that much either.
Right, and that shouldn't have been too much of a surprise for Activision, considering the response to their trailers. For a long time, they were topping the list of most disliked videos on YouTube. I mean, when you're fighting Justin Bieber, you know you've got a PR problem. Infinite Warfare reportedly sold half of what Black Ops 3 did in its first month in the US, leading some to prematurely call it a flop, but it's still a Call of Duty game, and Infinite Warfare managed to end the year as 2016's best-selling console game in the US, even, yes, in front of Battlefield 1, which everyone loved.
While it seems like not everybody loved the game's futuristic concept, a lot of people still went out and bought it. Activision COO Thomas Tipple called Infinite Warfare a high-quality, innovative game, but he added that sales underperformed our expectations, and it's clear for a portion of our audience the space setting just didn't resonate. It just goes to show how strong a franchise is year after year when even a disappointing game like Infinite Warfare still racks up those kinds of numbers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of the people who are gonna buy a game like Call of Duty, they're not here, they're not watching video game news, they probably buy a couple titles a year. Call of Duty is that one they know is coming every November. They're gonna buy it, they're gonna get a year out of it, and then they're gonna play the next Call of Duty, and that's easy for them. Needless to say, this latest job posting that might indicate a more modern Call of Duty in the future has gotten players talking, understandably, on the Call of Duty subreddit. One poster is saying, "Holy shit, are Treyarch finally gonna ditch the toy-like chunky fake guns and their silly names they've had for the last two games? Sign me the fuck up."
People are excited. Others noticed the requirement that applicants must be Prestige 1 in Black Ops 3. Another Redditor joked, I wish I could put that on my job app and impress someone.
You don't have that on your job app?
I need to update mine.
As for right now, Activision isn't saying anything about future games. All of their marketing engines are directed straight at Call of Duty World War II, which is due out November 3rd. It's going to be pretty interesting to see, given how that game performs, whether or not Activision sticks with the past, decides to get back to the present day, they decide to ever try space again. We'll see. Again, either way, it's going to sell well.
What do you guys think of Call of Duty possibly headed back to the modern era? Is it a good call? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Call of Duty news, whichever era it happens to be in, be sure to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel.
Okay, I really want to see Call of Duty versus Justin Bieber. Like, can that be the next game?
Maybe we can get Screw Attack on it.
Yes! I'm okay. I'm all for this.
Has gotten players talking, understandably, on the Call of Duty subreddit. One poster saying, holy shit, are Treyarch finally gonna ditch the toy like Chunky?
Yeah.
Chunky.